Hey guys, okay, this is the Craze channel reporting. Saturday, I was listening to this speech that Trump did in Texas for the NRA convention, and most of it was good. But right now, I'm in a situation where the judge in my case, in my, it's not, I was a victim of a crime. A felony was committed. I've been left unable to walk for the last year, but I have not lost hope. It might just take one more year. And I can't stand on crutches for long periods of time. Like for me to wait in line at a store where there's going to be an hour wait, which is very common where I live, I just can't go to that store. I have to pay more and go to a local store, a small store, which there's one left near where I live. Or I have to drive like 10 miles or something to find a place that has an operating cart so I can take my time and buy things, non-perishables such as like toilet paper, paper towel, stuff like that. Okay. Laundry detergent, shit like that. Um, so it's a hassle. The last several times I voted, it's been kind of on and off. But the 2022, I did not vote in the primary. I didn't see much point. Most of the candidates, other than the Republican presidential candidate, in my district, there weren't, okay, put it this way, there weren't any Senate or congressional candidates there weren't any candidates that I could vote against unless I did a write-in because they go unchallenged. It's a heavy lib district. Like, for example, I don't even know if my congresswoman, I mean, she's just there. They just gave it to her because she's a black woman and she's gay. She's been there for like 20 years. She's going to be there. No one's ever going to challenge her. They've tried a few times. Doesn't make a difference. I think somebody might have ran against her, you know, maybe spent $1,000. um, I don't watch local television. I would have no idea. And like I said, there's no point. There is no point when you don't have a viable challenger to. I would have to go in there, write in a vote, write in a name, cast my vote, and I generally have like 20 write-ins. And stand there and write Mickey Mouse, blah, 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 or my own name or someone I know. So the last time in 2022 that I did that, they flagged my vote, sent me a letter 2 weeks later, and didn't count my vote, which was very important because we had a governor race going on and a Senate race. And I could get into that. The outcome of that made no sense to me at all. But then I just did write-ins for everything else. And who knows, maybe they just flagged it. And they made up the excuse that my driver's license wasn't valid. Well, I've had the thing, or they couldn't find the number in the system of the state of Wisconsin. I've had the same number since 1977. Okay. So, yeah, okay. Which would mean, and I stood in line for several hours, and they kept the polls open. They closed at 8. They kept it open till like, I think 9:30 or 10. And I'm thinking to myself, and I heard people say, "Oh, I was here this morning too." Okay, yeah. Yeah. This is a great place for criminals to come, Wisconsin. And so I I thought to myself, how would I be able to go to the front of the line and speak to the people running the line and say, "Hey, look, I'm on crutches. Can I come in early? Ahead of line. You know, I know I'm not going to be off." Um, so I'm trying to figure out, how can I do this? Can I get a wheelchair and sit in the wheelchair? And this is sitting outside in shitty weather too. This is about 5 blocks from Lake Michigan, and I'm thinking, you know, how am I going to do this? No, and I'm not early voting because that'll just be thrown out. They'll find some reason to throw that out. That's the way they do it now. Watch for that to happen. If they can't just flat out cheat, which they do a lot of, but to just go over the top, they'll just throw your vote out. Well, they'll find an excuse, or the voting machines will be broken or something like that. That happened to me in 2016 at the primary. The thing kept spitting out my vote. By the time it finally went in the machine, and oh yeah, we counted your vote. Oh, I thought to myself, yeah, like hell you did. By the time I walked out of the place, they declared the winner. How could they have counted all that shit that quickly? I don't know. And that was the only state that Cruz won, which was Wisconsin. And the other states were all caucuses. I think he might have won one. He had gatherings with 40 people. I knew the places that he went to. They were little teeny restaurants with maybe a capacity of 70. And then I even called one. And I said, so you had Senator Cruz there, blah, 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 blah. And this poor waitress gets on the phone when I called. And I'm asking her all these questions, and she's answering them. And then all of a sudden she said, you know what? I think you ought to talk to the manager. I got it out of her. There were like 30 or 40 people there. Because I said, what, were there about 40 people there? She says, yeah, I think so, about that. That's what I thought. But he won the state. Got it. Trump pulls in like 20,000. And then so we go through all this shit. Then we have like these idiots, boomers, former hippies that are like, have Trump derangement syndrome, and generally men that hate him. And I think that a lot of times men hate him because they're insecure in their own success and masculinity. They never quite got as far as they did. And Trump is the person who they know they could never ever be like, even though they seem fine in their own skin and all that shit. He just pisses them off. So I'd cast a vote just for that. But then I'm in the middle of listening to this, and we're going to get into it, and then I'm going to end the video. Because, just because. Okay. If you hear something in the background, I have a fan, really like a very good fan going. It's really moving the air and really hot. It's like 82 degrees. Okay. And very, very balmy, very hot, very humid. Okay. So here we go.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after we win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and we will restore, as we had just 4 years ago, peace through strength.
Okay. That sounds good. But it's become so entangled and so fucked up, we're going to have to spend a shitload of money in there to rebuild the place. Right now, I'm thinking, I'm not sure. Because right now there is a conference that is supposedly going to be set up. And it's in Geneva or something. It's in Switzerland. Sounds more to me like people just want to get a quick, a luxurious vacation in, you know. And, basically Zelensky is going in there. It's supposed to be a peace conference to end the war, but Russia isn't invited. Therefore, the BRICS countries aren't showing up. And it's just going to be a bunch of lavish whining and dining. And then he's going to try to suck some money out of the EU. And Zelensky's been bombing churches, been bombing Orthodox churches in Ukraine. And we could do a video on that. But, it was all over Twitter a few days ago. And I don't really like that app anymore. It doesn't move the right way for me. It doesn't. Because I had been using it since 2009. I don't like the way it's set up under Elon. It is very slow, and the searches don't work. If you're looking for someone, it just doesn't work. You have to literally go into like Yandex or something like that and try to find out somebody's handle that way and then go in that way. You can't even, it's just bullshit. But for some reason, Robert Kennedy's name always, pulls up. His campaign manager is former CIA. Let's just put it that way. So you have him saying that he's going to end the war. I think it might be more difficult than that. I think 6 months ago that would have been possible. Zelensky just bought one of Prince Charles' homes in fucking Great Britain, which is just blows my mind. It's so bizarre, it's not even funny. Oh, and a $22 million place in Florida, which is where Netanyahu's son is staying right now to avoid the war, because they don't fight, right? Okay. Then he says this, and he's reading a prompter, and this is like, okay, I'm done. Quite frankly, I'm almost done with the NRA with this bullshit.
They respected our country, and they respected your president. I will support Israel's right to win its war on terror. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after we win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and we will restore, as we had just 4 years ago, peace through strength.
I don't believe that's going to happen because of the statement that he makes after it. He's going to continue to fund. No, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do it. Not right now. It's gotten too out of control.
They respected our country, and they respected your president. I will support Israel's right to win its war on terror.
That's it. There isn't a war on terror. They went in there and they took over somebody else's land. And now they're committing a genocide. They're starving people to death and they're dehydrating people to death. And as a person that was left for dead on the side of the road, I know what that feels like. And I do not support this. I do not support it. I do not support it. And what you're saying is a flat out lie. So there will be nothing different in the country if you get in. The economy will be better. That's about it. And that would be enough right now. But I'm beginning to even question that. Thanks for watching.